What's going on, guys? My name is Joe. You can find me over online at TattooedTheist. There will be a little video that plays right here. This will show you how to get into our Discord group if you want to come on during any of the podcasts that we hold. Those stream live every Sunday night and Thursday night at 6 p.m. Central Time. Sunday night is a Bible study, and Thursday night is a topic discussion that you guys pick the topic. There is a poll that runs in Discord once a week. Whatever gets voted in, that's what we talk about on Thursday. So if you want to get in on any of that, join the Discord. That will be found on TattooedTheist.com. Today, we're going to be looking at Mia Khalifa. Now, if you don't know who that is, that's probably a good thing. And I don't mean to be offensive when I say that, but I do mean it. So she's known for, from my perspective, she's known for giving dating and marriage advice, or for giving advice to women on how to deal with men. I would go so far as to say, please, for the love of God, do not take advice from this woman. The only thing besides that I know about her is she's an ex-adult film star, and she's been married 3 times. Probably, now we can get into, the more sexual partners you have, the harder it is for you to pair bond and become close intimately with somebody in a connective way. And that can take us back to this concept of, what was the biblical idea of marriage? It was that you become made one flesh. Can you be made one flesh multiple times? Debatable, right? Tough conversation. But she's got this video here. She's responding to a user on TikTok. And I got this sent to me, and I was like, just boom, blown away. So let's see what she's got to say.
Oh, we're comparing stats. Baby girl doesn't know that I am Tom Brady at this game. Married at 18.
I'm sorry, but so it's a game. It's a game. Right now, she feels like she has to boast in an arrogant manner, in a proud manner, that she has had more relationship dysfunction than whoever it is that she's replying to. That's really sad, right? That's really sad.
Divorced at 21. Second marriage. Married at 25. Divorced at 28. Third engagement. Engaged at 29. Ended it at 30, but I kept the ring. I'm still keeping Tom Brady on his toes. We should not be afraid to leave these men. We are not stuck with these people. Marriage is not a sanctimonious thing.
Okay. Well, I agree in part, right? You're not stuck with anybody. However, don't enter the union if you're not comfortable being stuck with them. That's what marriage is. That's what it is. I mean, it's literally in the vows that you say. Through sickness and health, we are becoming one flesh, and I will be there for you no matter what. Now, yes, there are anomalies or outliers or specific reasons that a marriage should fail, in my opinion. These are things like psychological or physical abuse, even things like finances, if they're abused. So anything that is related to abuse, and I don't mean our generation's version of abuse, where I call you an idiot and you say I abused you. I mean real abuse. And calling someone an idiot, if done for years at a time and in an aggravated manner, that can become abuse for sure. But I mean, if I just come to you and I say, hey, you're really dumb, have a great day, and then I walk away, that's not abuse. I can offend you without abusing you. So there's a difference between that and having a verbally, psychological, or a physically abusive partner within a marriage where you entered the marriage and the person wasn't like that. And then over time, they became like that. I agree. You shouldn't be stuck with them. You shouldn't have to tolerate that, because that's not who you married. You married someone else, or you married who you thought was somebody else, right? I know plenty of people who were with someone that they really loved and that they would have spent forever with, and they would have gone through whatever with. However, there is a line, and that line does need to exist. The other thing about what she just said is she used the term sanctimonious. I don't think she knows what the word means, because she used it inappropriately. So I know what she meant, and marriage is a sanctimonious thing. It's a very important thing. And marriage was forever a spiritual thing. It became modernized by culture throughout history, and then it became a contract. It didn't originate as a contract. Sometimes there was a type of contract involved, but that wasn't what it didn't relate the way that it does today. Now, if you want to hear more about that, I did a video on that, so I'll put a card up here about what marriage was and now what marriage is today. So I'm not going to get into it. But it is the word that she's trying to use that she failed to use. It is that. It is something that is it should be taken super serious, very serious. You should really feel like you know the person in all of their flaws beyond well, so that as the years roll on and some of the emotional stuff, the honeymoon phase begins to wear off, you have this concrete belief and dedication to the person that no matter how difficult they become within reason, normal difficult, I will be here for them. I will work through it with them, and I will be their rock. That is what marriage is. And even her, when she went through her marriages, doesn't matter if she did it in somebody's apartment or in a courthouse or in a church, she said those words because they are a part of every ceremony. Even if it's not a religious one, everyone that I've heard, secular, they still say these things, these bonding terms, and these very dedicated expressions to one another, the bride and the groom. This is what marriage is. So you can say that it's not something that is vital and important and doesn't have any true weight behind it. You can say that, but it's not true. It's not true. We've made it that way. And the reason it is that way now is exactly because of people like this. That's why now what she's saying, it kind of is true. But it's true because we've forced it to become true. It wasn't like that. It was never like that. Going back in.
It is paperwork. It's something, it's a commitment you make to someone. But if you feel like you're not getting anything from that commitment and you're trying, you gotta go.
So it's just paperwork. It's a commitment that you make to someone. But if you're not getting what you want out of it and you're trying, you gotta go. Again, broad strokes here. I agree. I have a feeling that her version of "and you're really trying" compared to my version of "and you're really trying," we probably have different ideas of what that means. Especially considering within a 10-year period, she was married and divorced 3 times. 3 times. Once, maybe, yeah. Twice, maybe you need to start looking at yourself as an issue. 3 times, something is wrong with you. Either you have just awful luck. But even then, don't get married if you are seeing your relationships fail at an alarming rate. Like, this is impressive. 10 years, 3 marriages and divorces. It's impressive. Like, that's not easy to do. That's hard. But what that means is you're not vetting your partner at all, or there is something wrong with you and you need to do some self-reflection and see, like, hey, is it just that I'm picking poor people? Or perhaps is it that there is something not right in me that is causing me to not be able to hold down a committed relationship? And that takes me back to what I said in the very beginning, is that there are statistics behind the idea that the more sexual partners you have, the more people you physically engage with, the harder it is going to be for you to create a strong bond with someone later on. So say she meets the right person when she's 35, after maybe getting married one more time. But even if not, you've got 3 behind her. She's got 3 under her belt. By the time she's 35, maybe she meets a good guy. He treats her right. They connect on an emotional, physical, spiritual level. Checks all the boxes. She has had so many people in an intimate setting with her that science says she's going to have, no matter how she feels about him, she's going to have a harder time than someone who has not had that many sexual partners. She's going to have a harder time parabonding to that man. So by living this promiscuous lifestyle, and it goes more for women than men statistically, but from my view, just from a spiritual view and from an integrity view, I guess, I think men are no different. I think men should not have a ton of sexual partners. I'm not a part of this whole red pill side of conservatism right now, where men should be able to sleep with whoever they want, as many girls as they want, have kids with different girls, and everybody's all cool with it. I don't agree with that at all. I think it's 1 and 1, and I think you should keep as your body count, as these people talk about. It should be as low as humanly possible, because that will benefit both you and your partner later in life. So when she gets to 35 and she meets the right guy, she would have a better shot at that working out, because she will become bonded to him in a way that she is not capable of due to her past decisions and discretions, right?
You gotta go. You have to go. I know it's difficult to fill out paperwork and to make appointments and to do all of these things, but this is your fucking life. Do you want to be stuck with someone? Period. Do you want to be stuck with someone?
The filling out paperwork is hard. That's an interesting take. I didn't hear it all the way through, I guess. Moral of the story: if you're in an abusive relationship, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's possibly spiritual or financial, yeah, consider leaving, right? Like that's more likely the thing that you should do. Because whatever you're in, I would assume the person that you're with changed over time, and you can't control that. As much as people like to say, like, no, you need to tough it out, I don't agree with that. If you're being literally abused, even if not physical, but actual abuse, not somebody saying one thing to you one time, that is not abuse. But if you're actually being mistreated and abused perpetually, right, concurrently, then yeah, leaving is probably something you should consider. But it should be after like a lot of prayer, a lot of meditation, talking to a professional that's not a lawyer, but talking to a professional, and then talk to a lawyer and figure out what it is that you have to do to get out of the situation. Same thing if somebody's abusing your kids, right? If you're with somebody, either the mom or the dad, or maybe a step parent at this point, who's abusing your children, yeah, get out, right? But otherwise, I think everything that can possibly be done to try to see, where did this go wrong? What could possibly remedy the situation? And let's be dedicated and committed enough to work through that. Because otherwise, you're going to end up similar to her. And I'm not trying to bag on her, but somebody who has had just tons of sexual partners in and out of marriages and relationships. This is a part of why the marriage and divorce statistics are as messed up as they are, is because usually people who get divorced end up getting divorced several more times within their lifetime. That says more about individual people's personal issues than it does about actual healthy statistics about divorce. With the people who are living a lifestyle like this, it makes sense that the divorce rate would increase. She had 3 in 10 years. So things like this are skewing those statistics, right? Don't emulate this. That's the main thing I want to say. Young women should not be emulating this woman. She's a relationship failure. And again, nothing against her personally. I don't know her, but her life so far has not amounted to much other than she's financially stable. I've been able to gather that. Beyond that, she can't find a partner for more than a year or so. She's hopping in and out of these should be long-term relationships, but they end up being very, very short-term. And she's extremely promiscuous, which I believe is tied into her issues with having a long-term partner. So again, not to bash her. This is just, we talked about something similar to this on Thursday, and then somebody sent me this video and asked, where did I land on this? Well, there you go. That's where I land on it. I think it's a good example of what our culture is becoming, and a good example of the type of influencers that our culture is pushing on younger girls as somebody that they should become, as a role model. If being alone but financially secure due to adult film in your past is your role model, you're free to feel that way. You're free to want that. I would pray to God that my daughter never looks at somebody like this with anything other than, I want to be the opposite of that. I want to be anything but that. I hope this doesn't ruffle too many feathers. I love you guys. I will see you on the next one.